Alright, we have the stator off. Now we're going to take the flywheel off. Now what I always do is put the recoil cut bolt back in so you're not damaging the end of the crankshaft here. To pull this off with a special puller. This is what the puller looks like here. You screw that onto the flywheel all the way till it's done thread. You don't want it to come up at all. Now, you run this center bolt in, and that'll pull the flywheel right off. Take the puller off. Just regular threads. You'll take this recoil cut bolt out, and your crankshaft isn't damaged that way. Sometimes if you don't put this bolt in there and press on there, it'll damage that crank. So pull this off here. That's what the flywheel looks from the back. This is the starter drive. This is a one-way gear. So this is the big idler gear that sits in there. We'll sell these together. We have the crank balancer gear here and the oil pump gear here, and this is the chain. A lot of times on these Raptors, these chains will go bad. Now these have a washer here that turns up so that nut doesn't come loose. So you take a flat screwdriver or a chisel and flatten that. That keeps your nut from loosening up. Grab an 1 1/4 inch. See if we can pull this off. Alright, that nut comes right off. That's a regular threaded nut. Now this will just come right up. Now we're going to take that with it, or we'll take this snap ring out of here off this oil pump so we can take the whole chain up with it. So take that off and this off all as one. There we go, and those come off just like that. We'll keep that together. Keep this bolt with that and the circlip with that for when we finish pulling this oil pump apart. Now this is the other cam chain guide. We'll take that out and we'll sell it with the tensioner and the other guide here. Two 10mm head bolts. And we'll include that with the sale. There's a little keeper here, a little cotter key, or a little keeper for that balancer gear. Now this, we got a larger circlip here. Take that off. We'll take this speedometer sensor off of here. They're plastic and they're sealed with an O-ring, so be careful you don't damage that when you're pulling it off. There we go, there's the speedo sensor there. This one was good, so over here you're gonna have your clutches. Got a couple more sensors here, gear position sensor. Here's your engine number here, right by your output shaft. So we'll take this coupling off here. That's a 22mm headed bolt to pull this coupling off. That's regular threaded as well. We'll keep the nut with it. That's a rear coupling for the drive shaft. Alright, now we're going to pull the gear position sensor off. right here. Two 10mm headed bolts. And again, same thing. This is plastic, so be really careful you don't damage that when you're trying to get this off. Just sealed with an O-ring. So this is the gear position sensor here. Got neutral and a couple other reverse and high, low. That tells your dash which light on the dash to show. Alright, next we'll pull this clutch off of here. You got 8mm bolts all the way around it. Same thing, I kind of tap on this just to break the seal, and then I go. Now this is your centrifugal clutch. So no grooves there, or very little grooves. You don't want grooves in there. These are a challenge to get out sometimes out of this case, so a lot of times we'll sell this together, but it'll come out this way. You just gotta be really careful you don't damage the shaft when you're taking that off. Here's your one-way gear for your one-way bearing for the clutch.